Hello and welcome to this ad for a t-shirt. Two t-shirts. Sure, it says pre-order, but they're up for regular order now. So head on over to fastcustomshirts.com and along with those shirts, hundreds and hundreds more shirts. If you're listening to this garbage, you'll love the fine, fine shirts over at fastcustomshirts.com. Custom work too if you need some shirts made. Speaking of garbage, head on over. I was going to say fucking the same shit. Merp, merp. Head on over to dwnproductions.net. Masks, bus, props, custom work, fine, fine stuff for fine, fine people. Bink. If you want something made, hit me up. Hey, Joe, you ever see Creepshow?
I've seen it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
It's pretty good. I would say it's almost great.
Yeah. Ranked
Yeah.
one of the best anthology horror movies I've ever seen.
So tell us a little bit about Creepshow. You see this one in theater?
Well, no, well, did I? No, I didn't see this one in the theater. I guess I must have seen it on HBO or some shit the first time. The movie channel, I think is what we had back then. But yeah, I liked it from when I first saw it as a young lad.
Is that because you were a little juvenile delinquent kid growing up in the 50s reading horror comic books?
Hmm. It was my innocence was being seduced, you see.
Damn, he got Warthamed.
Hmm?
Fuck, it's almost as bad as getting pecked.
Hmm. I wouldn't go that far. But
Whoa.
yeah. Uh yeah. Tell us all about it, Tom. Even though we've talked about this movie on this show many, many a time, it always bears repeating, I guess.
Yeah, now we'll have a clip of it, so we'll never have to talk about it again. So in this one, it's a I guess Steve McQueen and George Romano, they wanted to get together for years and years and years and just have cinematic sex with each other to produce a baby known as a movie. And they finally did with George A. Romero presents Steve McQueen's Creepshow. And the wraparound kind of framing device is Tom Atkins finding out his son's a little bitch ass reading comic books, and he doesn't take too kindly to that.
Look,
So yeah, he finds him reading these horror comic books, this horror crap, if you will. And his son's just like, hey, it ain't any worse than those books you keep in your drawer with those guys pissing on each other. And fucking his dad just hauls off and smacks him right in his fucking cocksucker, knocking all his teeth loose.
yeah, that's just the vibes. And you know what, Tom? That's why God made fathers. That's why.
Is it? Shit. I thought that was a little far, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just not that old school, Joe.
You're not.
However, I am an old fool. That's so cool. Anyways, back to the story. So what's his nuts? Old Tommy Atkins throws the fucking rubbish into garbage, the comic book, and that bitch blows away. And so I guess he's a fucking litter bug too. And we start seeing live action recreations of the stories from the comic books. The first one being Father's Day, which would you believe it if this is the best one, Joe?
Let me go on to say that none of these stories were adapted from the Creepshow comic book. No, Tom, this one went the other way around. The comic book adapted the stories from the movie. Hmm.
So in this one, an old bitch is mad that her dad called her a bitch, so he bludgeons her, or she bludgeons him to death with a fucking ashtray. And every year she drunk drives to his gravesite just so she can sit at the foot of his tombstone and mock this old son of a bitch. However, on this fateful Father's Day, he comes back from the grave to
Oh,
get his cake.
because that's why God made fathers. That's why God made fathers.
To bake cakes. Yeah, this one's good. This fucking old lady being all drunk, talking like a foreigner. You bitch! You called me a bitch! It's fucking terrific. Makes me laugh every fucking time I see it. And then fucking Ed Harris and his wife dancing like a couple of fucking assholes. Terrific. Fucking terrific.
So
Uh,
Tom, been like at a family gathering and like a couple just decides to put on a music, like an aunt and uncle that decides to put on like the radio and start dancing just there, them two.
I don't think so, Joe.
Yeah, I just didn't know if that's something white people did or whatever. But continue with the review, Tom. So that was entirely fabricated then.
Yes, it might have been. I mean, those are like rich white people.
Oh, right, they're different.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What's the next one? Oh, the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill. This one is about 12, 15 minutes of Stephen King making fun of people from the South, just all buck-toothed and dim-witted. So if that appeals to you, is this the segment for you? The thing I always remember about this one is a behind the scenes thing, is how I I mean I'm gonna say allegedly, but I mean this is stuff that was told to people, like we were told this in college, you see, that Steve McQueen, wink, King, 'cause I'm not gonna fucking I don't know what the fuck Steve McQueen was doing. But Stephen King was supposedly so fucked up on blow that they couldn't do the life cast, and that's why he looks like a green Chewbacca. Like they had a fucking makeup and like some cool shit planned, but he's all fucked up on blow, so we got fucking a fuzzy Muppet looking guy. But that shit where he's fucking blowing his head off and just saying, let my luck change just once. It's fucking awesome. The rest of it, highly offensive. But that shit, pretty good. Hashtag cancel Steve McQueen.
Um, yeah, I think his performance in this is great. I think it's spot on. You know, fuck yeah. What do these backwoods hillbilly sons of bitches know about meteors? Not a god thing. They just see dollar signs. Something falls from the sky. Hey, maybe we can make a buck off of this. That's the way they'll. So yeah, it's fucking great. And
Not just $8, but $200 and keep them coming.
and this definitely corresponds to the time when he was using. He will admit that he was using quite a bit. So I'm sure he does not look at those times fondly, aside from all the money he was making.
Oh, the shit where he's fucking making himself so a fucking whole pitcher of screwdrivers and he just stirs it up with the empty bottle. Fucking terrific. Excuse me.
You see, back to drink a lot of liquor. Go back and look at the early days of the show, and that was all liquor, Tom.
Sure was. Oh, seriously though, folks, I'm gonna delete all that shit so you can't listen. But I got a question. What the fuck actually is Ripple? I think that was a little before my time.
Um, yeah, it was something that it's like a real cheap type of liquor. There was a Ripple and something called Muscatel.
I'm
And
not asking about Muscatel. I'm asking specifically about Ripple.
what
And is rum Ripple the same thing?
it was hobos and let's see what was
Hayseeds, apparently.
hobos and African Americans that would drink a lot of Ripple. It was referred to a lot on the show Sanford and Son, if you ever watch that, or and also the show Good Times. Tom.
And also the show Archie's Place. I don't want any of those Ripple drinking. Beep. Technical difficulties. That show sucked. All in the Family's pretty good though.
Hmm.
Oh, Rest and Empowerment, Eden.
Fucking opened a bar. What the fuck was that? Anyway, yeah.
Oh, speaking of old honkies, the next one, Something to Tide You Over. Starring, I was going to say Ed Gale, but that ain't his fucking name. It's Ted Danson and fucking Leslie
Old
Nielsen.
buddy man named Leslie.
Oh, it's fucking not, there's, I mean, there's a few dudes named Leslie, and it's always fucking weird.
Hey, it's a girl's name.
It is.
Hmm. They might as well just name you Judy or something, you know?
Who else is in this one? What the Galen Ross from your favorite, Dawn of the Dead.
Hey, if
She's
you guys listening and your name is Leslie, sorry for all the beatings you must have taken in school and shit. You know, that had to suck, but blame your parents, man.
you got anything for the lady named Galen?
Kaylin. Jesus. God damn. Gay
No?
there's guys named Gaylord. That's their first name. You know, I think you have to be like British aristocracy, but still, still, come on.
I think she's an old Pittsburgher there, Joe. Your old stomping ground. Anyways, Joe, that was something to tide. Wait, we didn't even fucking talk about it. All right.
It,
So Ted Danson is nailing Galen Ross, and Galen Ross is fucking Naked Gun's wife. So
what?
Naked Gun comes to Ted Danson's fucking apartment, and he's just like, listen up, you cheers fuck. I know what's going on. And if you ever want to see my pussy again, you'll follow me. He says, hey, TV's a little fucked up. Should get this looked at. Okay. So they go to the beach and there's a hole dug. And Cheers is like, oh, you fuck. I'm going to hit you with this shovel you left here like a fucking idiot. And Naked Gun says, I'm a naked gun, boy. Don't do it. Get in the hole and kneel down and get ready to suck it. Just kidding. My name isn't Galen, but seriously though, get in the hole and kneel down. Sorry, what were you gonna say? You were looking enthusiastic about that shit.
Nail down? What?
Yeah.
No, Leslie. It's Les for short.
So old naked Les tells Cheers to nail down before us all. And he says, listen here, you fuck. Start scooping that sand back into you. So he buries himself alive except for the head. And fucking Naked Les is all just like, oi, mate, the tide's coming. I hope you can hold your breath, you fucking prick. So then he gets a TV out and he's like, oh, he's a TV repairman. That's why he wanted some work before he killed me. So old Naked Les turns the TV on and it's old. What do you think we can call Galen for short? Oh, I know. So old Lynn, we see her and the tide's crashing in and oh, she's drowned and I can't believe it. And then old Naked Les says, ha ha! and drives away, leaving Cheers to have his fucking nose pinched by crabs and his lungs filled with the kiss from the sea. So old naked Les goes back to his fucking beach house or whatever the fuck this kind of person lives in. And he's watching a live feed going, ha ha! And then he starts feeling bad about it. He gets a little, oh. And then he goes and takes a shower because, you know, after a day of murdering motherfuckers, your balls are going to stink. So you got to wash them hoes and wash them proper. But right as he's scrubbing his left nut, he hears a noise and he says, Meals, Dios! And fucking naked, no, Cheers and Lynn, they come back, but they're waterlogged zombies that look like they've been waterlogged for fucking months and months, even though it's been maybe an hour.
Hey,
And old, what?
sorry to interrupt you, but
Don't you ever try that again.
could you do your waterlogged voice for the audience here? That's pretty fucking good, Tom.
Thanks. That was all cum. Thanks, Riley. So, anyways, old naked Les pulls out a pistola.
Tyler, real quick.
So, naked Les tries shooting them, and you know he shoots them. They bleed and shit, but they don't die because they're already dead. And then they fucking naked Les kisses the sea and tales from the crypt. I mean, it's all right. You can see this shit coming a mile away, even if I haven't seen this movie more than 20 fucking times. Uh, it's okay. Like, it's kind of the novelty of seeing Ted Danson and Naked Les, like in something that's not comedy or Cheers or something that's. But kids today, I don't think they give a fuck who those people were. They'd be like, oh, it's the guy from the insurance commercial, or it's trying to sell you Medicaid, or whatever the fuck he's doing now with his extremely white hair, Joe. And look, he looks like he's seen a ghost. Looks like he was a ghost. Because he was. Ooh. So what do you think about this one, Joe?
I dig it. I mean, it's like what's his name, old Les. He's like a sleazy fuck, but he's kind of justified. You know, they were fucking around. You know.
He's not a sleazy fuck. He's just a nut. And he says he's a fucking nut. So he doesn't really do anything that's sleazy.
No, I dig it. You know, it's his performance is real good. Like most people just know him like you said, the Naked Gun, but he did a lot of serious shit before he struck it big, I guess, with the Naked Gun movies. Yeah, he's fucking great in this, you know.
Jonah, let's go on to your favorite, The Crate.
Oh, The Crate. Go ahead. You fucking watched the movie. I didn't.
So in this one, not the guy from Reanimator gets a call. He's there's some fucking college. This centers around some college, some dickhole uppity university. And so this happens at good old Mescue. And there's a party going on for all these teachers and shit. The leader of some science division, or maybe he's the superintendent. I don't fucking know, but he looks like the fucking dude who gets his head cut off from Reanimator, but he's not the dude who gets his head cut off from Reanimator. So not Reanimator gets the fucking call. from a student or some shit. He says, "Ooh, I'm gonna suck your dick, daddy." He said, "This is a man. I'll be right there." So he fucking goes and he says, "Just kidding. There's a fucking this crate. It's a janitor. A janitor calls him." So the janitor's saying, "Oh, just kidding, but I knew that was the only way to get you down here. Look at that old crate that fell, or that look at that old fucking crate that's back there, god damn it. Now look next to it. Yeah, that's a quarter I dropped and fell back there. I was hoping it'd be okay if I can pry this loose so I can get my quarter back." He's just like, "Oh, that's all right." So they pry it open. They say, "Wait a minute, this crate's old. There might be doubloons in it."
Hmm.
So they carry what?
Hoogerans, or whatever the German fucking gold was called.
That's right, Google rips.
Mm-hmm.
So they crack open this fucking crate, and I guess it's supposed to be an abominable snowman. They don't really say, but it's like an Arctic beast. So it's some kind of fucking midget looking fucking super ape monkey platypus fucking thing.
Kind of
I
mute
don't know.
orangutan platypus combo. Yeah,
Something because it has
yeah. The
the large. That's
that's
right.
mandrels. Yeah, yeah. I
So
remember villain from Marvel Comics, the Mandrill.
I do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks like that. You know what? Now I'm not as impressed with his design as I used to be. Huh. Go ahead, Tom.
So Fluffy the Mandrill starts eating motherfuckers and not reanimators. Like, man, this shit's crazy. I gotta go call my boy Hal Holbrook and see
Oh,
if he can help me with this, and
fuck
see
yeah.
even more if his drunk ass bitch of a wife will show everybody your knockers. Let's hope so. What? Not in this movie, but it happens in every movie. The hell's going on here? Anyways, yeah, it's a monster in a box. It's just eating motherfuckers. His wife's a fucking dickhead, so he gets the monster to eat his wife and fucking Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, it's pretty good. It goes on fucking long. Like it's probably the longest one there, and it could have been cut down some, but it's still cool. It feels like a whole movie in itself, which drags the rest of the shit out, especially when the next one I don't find very good. But I mean, Fluffy's cool. I always remember this being like a lot gorier than it is, but it's really not. It's just the people who saw these movies and were inspired by these movies. They just made so much more gorier things. It's like you look back and who gives a fuck? This one's pretty good.
So that monster is called Fluffy. So
Yes.
who is Raoul?
Raul is the skeleton that we didn't talk about at the beginning
Okay.
that's outside the window.
All right. Yeah.
And I guess it's not supposed to be the same one from the TV series, even though it probably is supposed to be the same one, but they don't call him Raul. I think they just call him the Creep.
Hmm.
So now you know.
All
So
right.
the last one, what the fuck is it? I got roaches in my dick hole.
It
In
creeps
this
on you.
there you go. So in this one, E.G. Marshall's a real cocksucker and he's just a piece of shit businessman. Uh, he has a phobia of roaches or something, and then roaches explode out of his dick hole. I'm not 100% sure what the fuck's going on here. Are these roaches real? Is he fucking nuts? Did the lady on the phone fucking curse him? I don't know. They don't really explain too much. It's just, yeah, it's the last one, and it's kind of weak. If bugs don't freak you out, probably not gonna get anything out of it. But old EG, or Eej, as Joe calls him, he has a couple good one-liners, but In the end, it's just fucking roaches busting out of a guy's dick hole.
Yeah. I think E.G. Daily is really good in this. Um, yeah, he says some funny shit, and yeah, I dig it. I mean, at the time, like when I first saw it, roaches used to freak me the fuck out. So, and I think they do most people, and that's why, like, hey, let's just overload this shit with roaches. So if you were watching it in a theater back then and that was your fucking fear, like roaches or whatever, and you're in the fucking dark, you're gonna start feeling shit on you. Hey, whoa, what the fuck, So I'm sure it was like a lot more effective watching it like that than
I mean, and the song was popular at the time.
yeah, yeah,
You know what song?
yeah.
It's
I do.
from Your People.
Shake, shake, shake your booty.
No, that's from Joe's Apartment.
Mm.
Yeah, I would say the standout of Creepshow would be the lighting crew.
Well then,
What?
well then, say it.
Shout out to the lighting crew of Freak Show and all your gels and all those fancy little mats and shit that you made.
See,
Uh,
here it looks good, and here it makes sense. They're doing this shit for. They're not trying to be arty like fucking Dario Argento, like, oh, or the fucking Mario Bava, let's fucking throw a blue light here for no fucking reason. Here the lights correspond with the sound and with the effect that they're going for. It's kind of like because they're making an EC Comics movie, really, and there's a panel where like, and there's no background. Johnny Craig or whoever the fuck was drawing it like would leave a background because it's just their expression. But
Johnny Cage.
this is them using the lighting to really fucking drive that shit home, and it's badass. It works well, much better than those Italian fuckers did.
But yeah, it's a solid movie for me, just like the first Sin City movie. The shit that's really fucking awesome in it is really fucking awesome and raises the movie as a whole and makes up for the stuff that I don't really care for. But I mean, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I don't think that's a bad score. I would say ten's great, and it's almost a great movie. So I think that's pretty fucking fair. Oh, and then the end, what's his nuts? The kid clipped the voodoo doll send away out from the comic book and starts sticking pins in it, and his dad goes, "Ooh, ooh." Probably could have done something a little better than just that. Maybe fucking ooh, and then blood starts shooting out and his head falls off, or fucking something. Like leave him with something, you know, like oh shit, not just ooh.
Like
But
cotton
again,
his mouth and shit, right?
no, I don't. Did he? I don't think so.
No, that's what they should have done.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And that's why I got a 9 instead of a 10.
Okay.
Watch the third one instead.